Amy, let me tell you about a magical place that is so exactly designed to be enclosed space, year-round fun for the whole family that I bet you already know what I'm going to say before I even say the name. Let's say it together on 3. 1, 2, 3. Great Wolf Lodge. You got it, Amy.
My kids loved Great Wolf Lodge when we went. You probably already know that it has a huge indoor water park with a wave pool, lazy river, a bunch of massive water slides. But then your pack can hit the other attractions because, wait, there's more.
Great Wolf Lodge has adventure-packed attractions like Magi Quest, a live-action game kids can play throughout the lodge, plus the Northern Lights Arcade. Spent some quality time there, so your kid who loves the lazy river and your kid who loves fantasy games will both have a great time.
Great Wolf Lodge also offers great dining options and complimentary daily events like nightly dance parties, all under one roof. Unpack the car once and you're settled in to have fun. And with 22 lodges across the country, you're always a short drive away from adventure.
We've both had such great times at Great Wolf Lodge, so bring your pack together at a lodge near you. Learn more at greatwolf.com and strengthen the pack. Welcome to Ask Margaret from What Fresh Hell, laughing in the face of motherhood, answering your parenting dilemmas one question at a time. Today's question comes from Tara, who says, I'd love your advice on discouraging kids swearing. Our almost 8-year-old has been hanging around some older kids and has found it amusing to use various swear words, both casually and in a derogatory context at home. So far, he has not gotten in trouble for letting anything slip at school or at church. We've had multiple talks about how, while we don't care that he knows these words, we don't want him using them in our presence, in the presence of others, as they can be considered rude and insulting. Is it a phase? It's been months. Do we just blank face ignore it? We want to extinguish this annoying and insulting behavior. A swear jar? We don't want it rubbing off on our 4-year-old. So Tara lays out a lot of the problems with swearing and some of the solutions with swearing. And I think for us, we have a 0 tolerance for swearing policy at my house. Swearing is not allowed in our house. It is the kind of thing where we talk about keeping the lines tight because we know the kids will go outside of them. I now have a 14-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 10-year-old. And I know that they know all of the swear words and that they have used most of the swear words, but they are not allowed to use them in our house. Swearing is a classic jack-in-the-box behavior, so it is done to get a rise out of parents. And Tara touches on that by saying that her 8-year-old is doing this to some degree to get a rise. So while I don't recommend blank facing and ignoring swearing because I think it becomes just pushing those boundaries, this is what we like to call boundary-seeking behavior. Where is the wall? And so I want a wall that my kid is going to smack up against when they swear in this circumstance, which looks in my house like this. Kid swears, and I might say, we don't swear in this house, and I don't want to hear another swear word. If I hear another swear word tonight, you're off of screens for the rest of the day. Now, are you expressing something that you had a really particular kind of a day? Are you expressing frustration? Let's have a talk about that, but we're not doing it with swear words. And this is a straight consistency issue, so that every time a swear word comes up, you don't get a reaction out of me, but you do get a consequence. So I try to skip the part of, what did you say? What was that word? We don't use that, is outrageous. Can be hard. You got to get on the same page as the other parent here so that we're both on the same page. I just heard a swear word from you. That's not allowed. Here is the consequence for that. And usually I will say, if I hear it again. And so that should be the end of swearing for the night. Now, I have a kid who likes to play video games with his teenage friends. I will occasionally, while I'm doing the laundry, and the laundry room is next to the playroom, I will occasionally hear him swearing with his friends with a shut door while he is playing video games. I do not then open the door and say, I think I heard a swear word in here. I kind of recognize like that's where he likes to go outside of the lines. If it gets completely out of control or it's something that other people are hearing, the other kids are hearing, then I might intervene and go back to my original role. I keep hearing you swearing while we play video games. Let's cut that out or we're going to have to turn the video game off. So the consequences are very immediate and very, very consistent. If it's being a little bit naughty and pushing the lines and I have deniability, I will let it go. But if it comes into my space or anyone else in this house's space, I do not let it go. I think getting into the debate about, oh, but swear words are fine, everybody uses them. Well, it's fine, but you can't use them here and there. For me personally, that gets too confusing. I know other people who do this differently, that you can swear here and there, but not at church or school. That can work out fine for people. I just find it easier to keep the lines really, really clear. Now, do I love a good swear word? I sure do. But we don't swear on the podcast because we have a clean rating. We know that people listen with kids. I can control myself. I don't swear while I'm recording the podcast, and I don't swear generally around my kids. Even for me, sometimes I go outside of the line. Have my kids ever heard me use a swear word? They have. But I tend to say, that was inappropriate of me. Let me get my behavior back in line. So I'm trying to model the same thing that like, yes, we feel these frustrating feelings. Yes, sometimes these words are the way we want to express ourselves, but we have control over that. And so we're not going to do that. And trying to keep that consistent for my kids, I think helps us stay out of the argument of, oh, it's fine when you say it, but not when I say it. And, oh, I don't really care about these words. Yes. Can we have a whole debate about these words are just words and it's not important? We can, but I find this is where my benevolent dictator comes in and I say, listen, in my house, these are the rules. They are non-negotiable. I heard a swear word. Next time I hear it, this is the clear consequence that we will have every single time. And again, do people use a swear jar? It works for some people. I just find, again, that feels to me like a negotiation that I don't want to be in with my kids. Well, now you said it, now this and this. And it feels a little bit like, well, we're letting it in and then we have to put parameters around it. For me, the easiest tactic has been, this is not allowed. This is the consequence. And then, are you using that word out of frustration? Let's get underneath it and see what's frustrating you so much about it. As kids get older, you may let this slide a little bit more. I just find for myself, this is one of those simple places to keep the lines really, really tight. I mean, I started swearing around my parents probably in my 30s, and still I get a little flicker of joy when I use a swear word around one of my parents. It's pretty thrilling. And there's nothing terrible about this behavior, but I would go strong to simple, non-reactive, immediate consequences. And I think that cuts the swearing down and keeps you out of a huge debate on the topic. Tara, I hope that helps. If you have a question for myself or Amy, you can ask them on our Facebook page, facebook.com/groups/whatfreshhellcast, or you can record them on our website, whatfreshhellpodcast.com. There's a little microphone. You can click and actually record your question, and you could hear your actual voice on an upcoming episode. Thanks so much for listening.
The right window treatments change everything. Your sleep, your privacy, the way every room looks and feels. At Blinds.com, we've spent 30 years making it surprisingly simple to get exactly what your home needs. We've covered over 25 million windows and have 50,000 five-star reviews to prove we deliver. Whether you DIY it or want a pro to handle everything from measure to install, we have you covered. Real design professionals, free samples, zero pressure. Right now, get up to 40% off site-wide, plus get a free professional measure at Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions apply.